Hi, Mandy.
Hi, Robin. How are you?
Hi. Well, thank you.
Good. I know your voice after all these many Zooms we've done together.
Yes.
That's
Hi,
cool.
everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Becky.
All right. I think we'll get going. It is 11 o'clock. There might be a couple more people that will join us as we get going. But first of all, happy Valentine in pink for Valentine's Day. And everybody's got something. So I've got my roses that my husband bought for me yesterday. So very funny. Lockdown on we're told about lockdown on Friday. So I get home from work late because I had to do a whole lot of sorting out at work. I said, I'm going to Chadstone. He had no idea. I had to go and get a Valentine's card. And then sort of yesterday morning said, oh, totally forgot, typical male. And but then he went out and he got me roses and he found a little card at the florist. So there you go. If you've got any men in your life who've forgotten, that's where they can get a card from. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We are going to make, Valentine's dinner. And I am starting off. However, first of all, before we start off, can you all make sure you're on mute, please? And just also in the chat box, which is down the bottom, can you please post whether you have a Thermomix or not? Someone not on mute, could you please all be on mute? You have a TM5. Thanks, Courtney. Robin's got the 6, yes. Anybody else? Anybody who doesn't have one? The 6, fantastic, thank you.
Take it personal. So what? She gets to push us around. She's not pushing us around, she's pushing you. All the more reason not to date her.
Excuse me, someone's not on mute. Could you please mute yourselves?
Yeah, I'm trying to mute Glennis. Glennis Baker, I can't mute you. Can you please mute yourself? Ah, good. Thank you.
Thanks, Glennis. All right. Okay. So let's have a look. We've got, TM6, TM6, TM5. Yes, Gail, we've met you a few times. Thanks for coming on. All right. Okay. Well, we'll get going. So the menu today is we're making a inside-out chicken parmigiana. This is a Danny Valent recipe. She has on Cookie Do. She has, if you go to collections, she has a book called Entertaining, and she has some beautiful recipes in there. She's got them in different sections. She's got like you can do a Spanish meal, you can do a Mexican meal, etc., etc. And I think this is from Ladies' Lunch, but I'm not 100% sure. But we're making that. Irene is taking on the big challenge, which she's always up for. And she is going to make, we did a wreath at Christmas time that had us all going, ooh, how do we do this? And she's turning it into a heart today because she wanted to give it another shot. So good on you, Irene. And Pearl is making the chocolate love cake, which is also a Danny Valent recipe. So we will get going, but I know most of you do have a Thermomix. If you don't have one and you're curious and you'd like some more information, please contact your consultant after this. And if you're interested in joining the team, again, please let us know. Contact your consultant. We have so much fun doing this. Yeah, we're all excited it's lockdown because we can do more of this. Otherwise, Irene would have been at work. I'd be at work on Monday and Tuesday. Burn that. All of us are working, and we wouldn't be able to do all this. So it's a lot of fun. Okie doke. Right. So I am starting first of all with. I'm going to go to my week. I've saved my recipe in my week. I might have to put my blind down. Hold on. Apologies, I forgot about that. All right. So I am doing the inside out chicken parmigiana. So I'm just going to click on that. Okay. And it says start cooking. So I'm going to go here. Line a baking tray with baking paper and set aside. That's already done. 80-day-old sourdough bread. Oops, I've got Basil lurking at the top of my machine here. So in this bowl, this is all the filling that's going to go into my Parmigiana. So I've got my sourdough bread, which is, I've got lemon zest. I've got my pitted green olives, and I actually bought a jar of these. Don't mind jars because you can recycle them, make things, put them in them. This jar, which is 250 grams, I think it says, goodness me, 230 grams. It actually yielded basically 100 grams of olives, and I'm not going to leave a couple just floating around. So I've got 100 grams of olives in there, 1 garlic clove. So all that's just going straight into my bowl. Put my lid on. And then it's set for 6 seconds. All I've got to do is turn to speed 7. And I'm going to put it straight back into that bowl I took it out of. So there's our filling. Just going to scrape it down. But just a reminder, when you're scraping down, always push your food to the bottom, contents of your bowl to the bottom. All right, and then go in a clockwise direction. And you'll see why. You may know this anyway. Hopefully you do if you're one of my customers. And I'm sure the other girls would have told you this too. But if you go in a clockwise direction, then your spatula hits the rounded side of the blades rather than the sharp side of the blades. And obviously it's less likely to get damaged. Okay. 60 grams of shallots. So I've just got some onion here. So that's going in. A little bit more. 1 garlic clove. Lid on again. 2 seconds, speed 5. Spread down the sides of the bowl. So I'm actually going to chop that a little bit more because I'd like it a little bit finer than that. So the nice thing about this is I can just go back. I'm going to actually increase the time, so you can always override what you're doing. I'm just going to do another one. Click back on the speed and just turn it off. There we go, that's better. Spread down the sides. Boone, can you just keep an eye on the waiting room because there are people coming? I've just let a couple of people in, I think.
Sorry, yeah.
It's all right.
I always forgot to look at the waiting room.
Okay. 40 grams of unsalted butter. Remembering, of course, you can make your own butters in your Thermomix. So if you see cream on special, always good to grab some. And I'm going to put that on there. And it's going to cook for 3 minutes on speed 1. Whilst it's doing that, I'm just going to look at the further detail of the recipe. So I can click on the 3 dots, recipe detail. I'm going to scroll down. Okay. So it's cooking for 3 minutes. Then I'm going to add chicken stock and passata. So yesterday I made chicken stock because I'd run out, and I love having chicken stock in the fridge. This is actually a little bit runnier than the normal chicken stock because I was using up things in the fridge, which my team know that I like doing. And I had a cucumber. So this cucumber in there made it a little bit runnier. Normally it's a little bit drier than that, but that is, it's still beautiful chicken stock, smells amazing. So I'm going to add the chicken stock on the passata, and then it's saying place the varoma into position, weigh potatoes into the dish and onto the tray, and secure the varoma lid and cook. Now, I actually steamed the potatoes beforehand because we don't want to wait here whilst they're steaming. I'll just show you. And so I'm going to get them ready to go into the oven because they get baked as well. I did sweet potato because we prefer sweet potato. So it's that plus a little bit more because I've got some ready on a tray to go into the oven, but I will need to put the oven on. So do that. Okay. Oven's on. Just a few potatoes here because we're actually going to have this for dinner. But obviously I'm going to show you how to make it. So I'm going to make one chicken parmigiana and I have 2 other bits of chicken left, which I will use some of the filling in to make for our dinner, so it's fresh tonight. But the one I'm making, with you guys, we'll just have it cold with salad or something tomorrow. So no waste at all, and really good for you guys to see this because it's the sort of thing that I got put off by it. Oh my gosh, that looks too hard. It's not hard at all. So that's what we're here for, is to show you some different techniques and things that you can try. All right, how are we going? So I've got 47 seconds left on there. I'm going to put some olive oil on my sweet potato. Kofa is always really yummy too because that's nice. It makes them nice and crispy. And I will just salt and pepper it too. Okay. All right, so they're ready to go in the oven when the time comes. 13 seconds, countdown. So I'd love to know if any of you have actually made this before. If you could pop that in the chat, that would be great. All right, 400 grams of liquid chicken stock. So always remembering when you take your lid off, you need to tare. Make sure you're on 0 there. I've got about 400 grams of water here, and I've got a teaspoon here. So I'm just going to put a big dollop in there. Give that a bit of a mix around. I should have thought of this too yesterday when I was making the stock. So the other thing you can do whenever you're making stock is at the end, you scrape out as much as you can, but there's usually a little bit left in there. Just add some water and make yourself some chicken stock or your vegetable stock paste and just use that. It's just ready to go. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. 400 grams of passata. I just have store-bought passata, but one of my plans for this year, especially when you do end up in lockdown for longer, is to make my own passata. So I'm just going to put some of that in. Oops. Okay. Next. So now this is the whole potato thing, but I've done the potato thing, but I'm not actually concerned about that. We've got the potatoes. So the potatoes we're going to steam over that. But as I said, I'm bypassing that. We will be using that. I might just need to put my chicken on for a little bit longer because that will have to heat up. Okay. In fact, what I might do in a minute is get it going. So it says keep the contents in the bowl. This is after that's all been done. You steamed your potatoes. Preheat the oven to 190. Now we're going to go on to our chicken. Okay. All right. So using a meat mallet or a rolling pin, flatten 4 to 6 skinless chicken breast fillets. So I've done this, and we'll actually just put it on something flatter. So I've just flattened it, and I like to have the nice looking side on the outside, and I've just literally used a meat mallet and bashed it out. Okay. Then next, place sheets of aluminium foil. I've got all those ready too. So what I'm going to do is take that off there for a minute. I'm putting my aluminium foil and I'll explain this. So we're going to use this here to help roll up our chicken and keep it into like a little, as a roll for steaming. Okay. So it says you have a piece of aluminium foil and you have a piece of baking paper, and then you pop your chicken on there. Line the aluminium foil with the baking paper. Place one breast onto the center of each piece of baking paper. Distribute the breadcrumb mixture, which is what we made before, evenly along the length of each fillet. So I'm just going to put some along here. Okay. Top with a slice of prosciutto, so I've got that over here. Just going to pop that over like that. And then it says silver beet. Now, I had a whole lot of spinach in the fridge, so I'm using spinach leaves. There we go. And some thin slices of mozzarella. So this is a whole buffalo mozzarella, and I'm just going to pop a couple of slices along there. Here we go. All right. Next, using the baking paper to assist, roll the chicken lengthways in the baking paper and foil to enclose the filling. So I'm actually just going to use this to begin with. And I'm just literally rolling it up as much as I can. Now it's all going to stick together, as you can see, but there are little bits hanging out there, but I'm just folding it as much as I can. I'm just going to keep rolling that over, and I'm going to roll it in the foil as well. And then you just twizzle the ends. So basically just twizzle there and twizzle there. Okay, so it's just like a sausage.
And that's how you make sushi rolls as well.
Thanks, Boone. And so it's got to bake those potatoes. It said, meanwhile, continue with the recipe. So check the liquid in the mixing bowl and top up with extra passata if required. So obviously there's a little bit of evaporation happens with the steam when you're steaming your potatoes. But then I'm going to mix the aroma, and just a reminder that when you are using your aroma, you do need to make sure that there is the steam can circulate. So I'm just putting one in there. That's easy. Okay. What I would actually do if I was doing my other ones, I would put my tray on and put two on there. But if you have got a lot of things going in your aroma, you can put your butterfly on there, and that will actually allow for more circulation of the steam.
Or a pair of chopsticks.
Yes, chopsticks too. Knives, whatever. You can just cross knives in there, or forks or something as well. So that's just like that. And okay, so they're telling me to put 2 to 3 chicken breasts in the varoma dish and 2 to 3 onto the varoma tray, ensuring the steam can circulate freely. Remembering too that you've always got to have a minimum of 500 mils of liquid in there. So I'm going to pop my lid back on here and take off measuring cup, pop my varoma on, and I'm going to let it steam for a little bit longer than it says, because remembering, I'm actually going to turn that up to 30, because remembering that if we'd done the whole thing with the potatoes, this liquid would be hot already. So I'm giving it an extra 10 minutes to heat up, and we'll pop it on speed 2. And you know, it's a, as I said, yeah, just use up if you've got spinach in your fridge, use that. If you've got a different type of cheese, you could use that as well. So just you know, always use up what you can in your fridge. All right, so we are moving to Irene, where she's going to create magic. Oh, thank you. Irene's just told me not to steam my flowers.
Just maybe flowers over a bit. They're so pretty. I don't want you to destroy them from the steam. So I am making, actually, Boone, I know this sounds strange. We're going to go back to Mandy. Mandy's going to show us this recipe on her Thermomix, purely because I don't have my cookie dough linked to my machine at the moment. So we're just going to show you. Now, don't ask me what it's called it's basically
I'm going to share my screen and get it up on.
Yeah, great. No
YouTube.
worries. Okay, so it's for everyone that's looking for it. It's called Ciambella. So CIAM. I'm going to get Boone to find it. She can post it in the chat box. So it's Ciambella.
It's here. There you go.
halloumi. So, oops, hang on, I've lost you. 1 second.
Can you see that there on my screen?
Yeah, so down on that screen, anyone that wants to write that down, and look how gorgeous it is. So it's a beautiful wreath. Now, when we first attempted this, we tried to follow the written instructions, and we all kind of looked at each other. There was a room of probably 6 or 8 of us, and we were kind of like, it didn't end up looking anything like that, but it was still delicious. So today I'm going to attempt, this is my first attempt at making it, and I'm actually going to take it one step further by trying to turn this into a heart shape. So we'll see how we go. Now,
I just realised, Irene,
donut with halloumi and blueberries and rosemary. It's actually not. So it's basically, think of it as an enriched dough, enriched in that it's got egg in it and it's got a lot more oil than you would traditionally put in. So Mandy's converted, so that recipe's in Italian, and then we've just used Google Translate essentially to convert it into English. Now I've just used normal baker's flour, so I've used 400 grams of baker's flour, some yeast, some olive oil, the milk, the honey, the egg and the salt, and that's to knead my dough. And then essentially you're putting inside the center of it some chopped up halloumi cheese. You have basically shallow fried the shallots and the rosemary for a few minutes in the oil for about 3 minutes, and then you basically stir that through the halloumi cheese. I haven't done any of that. We're trying to avoid a little bit of onion at our place at the moment. Boone, you can move back to my screen now, and I'll just show everyone how I'm going to put it together. I guess a couple of things to notice, couple of things to point out is the dough took my mummy's rose. That's my contribution to, look how gorgeous pink that is. It's actually that colour. It's such a gorgeous fluoro pink, and it smells amazing. Now this dough has been proofing for a couple of hours. It actually, because of the amount of oil that goes into it, it acts like a retardant against the yeast. So it takes a little bit longer. In this case, it actually tells you to proof it for 2 hours, and it actually does need that time. And the reason for that is because all of those ingredients are going in together. It's not spreading out. Normally, anyone who's made something like a brioche dough, normally what happens is you knead the dough, get it to the consistency where you get that window. We talk about that window where, you know, the dough is see-through, and then you start adding fat content. That's how we do brioche dough. Because all the ingredients are going in this one at the same time, that's why it takes about 2 hours to rise. So give it the time it needs. Now in the recipe, it talks about rolling this out 40 by 28 centimeters. This is our Thermomix pastry mat. It's actually got your measurements down the side and on the bottom. So it actually takes the 2 centimeters off this side here. So essentially what I'm going to try and do, because I don't want to roll out to the edge there, if I start my dough, you can use that measurement. So if you're going from the edge, or from this little white bit, I guess you're going to 42 centimeters and 30 centimeters up this way. So we know roughly what sort of you know, length we want. So I'm just, because it's been relaxing really, really well, it's going to give me some pretty good stretch, which is great. Water. I'm going to move my rose, otherwise I'm going to get water all over here. Excuse me. And we'll fix that again. Okay. And I just use my hands to kind of try and keep it square, because ultimately we are going to try and put this filling in. Now, and I'm using, like I said before, I'm using the measurements that they've kind of indicated. And I reckon that's about right. So, you know, if you aim towards that length and shape, I think we're pretty good. And we'll try and square those off a little bit. Looking good. Okay, now, we're not slicing it on the mat. To make my job easier, it seems a bit opposite, but I'm going to spray my dough lightly on this side. I'm taking my baking sheet And this is kind of how I do my pizza dough, although I don't actually spray the paper, but this is because I need to do some cuts. It's going to make it easier to come away from the paper. So that's now stuck on there. I've got my tray. I'm picking it up and flipping it. So now my baking paper is against my tray. And then I literally peel away my mat. That's exactly how I do my pizzas. Makes it much, much easier. Okay. The recipe then talks about cutting corners. So it's actually asking me to cut roughly 6 by 3. It's actually going to cut that away. I'm not going to cut that away. I don't think you need to. But I am going to start my corners.
Irene, I have the pictures on my TM6 as well.
Yeah, we can show everyone the photos. So that's we're going to go back to this and we can have a closer look at the recipes on the TM6. It actually shows you all of these steps in photos. So if you're not going to see it necessarily on Cookie Do. If you go to Mandy's, yeah, great. So Mandy's showing, it's actually showing you that's being cut. Now they're using a pastry roller or a pastry cutter. I'm just using my pastry cutter. And essentially, I'm just going to keep spacing it out. I'm doing exactly what that's showing.
Okay, so you can see what it's like when it's finished there. So they've literally done the cuts that you saw Irene doing and then little cuts going in either way. And the tricky bit is that you don't want to cut all the way through. So these little V's, which don't quite meet so that you don't get lots of little funny bits there.
Yep.
Okay,
So
we'll go back to Irene.
Okay, so that's essentially what I've done. So I've cut these strips down the bottom. Now you can do this with your pastry cutter or with a pastry, I guess a pastry cutter. I reckon the scissors is probably easier. So essentially you're cutting and then back the other way. And then I always pick the hardest ones, don't I? Just keep cutting, but you get the idea. And I'm going to keep doing this off camera because I'm sure we've got other things to show you. So I'm just going to do the next one. We'll do 3 across. And now you understand why I've sprayed that piece of paper, because it's allowing me to pick up and stretch this pastry without sticking to anything. And you want to get this onto the tray you're going to bake in, otherwise you're going to have problems transferring it later. Okay.
Would you like us to go to Pearl whilst you're doing that?
Yeah, so let me finish this, go to Pearl, and then come back and I'll show how I fold it all together.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Thanks,
Irene.
Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. I've got a nice yellow rose, which is Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day doesn't have to be red roses, so I've got yellow because it's Boone's favorite color too.
Very pretty.
Yeah, so okay, let me start. Today I'm making something out of my comfort zone. I don't like making desserts, but my husband likes desserts, so I'll go for desserts.
It's worth your while. It's delicious.
It's called a love cake, chocolate love cake. So it has got a lot of love in it because I'm making it today. So let's go through the whole thing. I have made the jelly already. So that's one of the things that you can do in your Thermomix, TM6. Start in the middle of the recipe. So I go to 0.7. So I've done the heating, preheated my oven. Now I'm going to go to 0.8. That is, place one whole nutmeg. So this is the nutmeg that I have, big one. And I'm going to put that in. We do a lot of, in Indian cooking, we grind a lot of spices. So this is one of them. So turn to speed 10. and for 15 seconds. This is what I got. If you see, it's ground into powder. Next, transfer it into a small bowl. I've already done that. Without cleaning the mixing bowl. Now I'm putting pistachios. So 80 grams of pistas. Next. Insert measuring cup. Next. And on turbo. What I got. If you notice, if I went to the home screen, it has, you can see the small green book. That's my recipe that has got saved. So to come back to the recipe, I just press that. Sure. There we go. Next. Without cleaning the mixing bowl. I like when I don't have to clean the mixing bowl. 100 grams of chocolate. Next. For 5 seconds on speed 8. Chocolate. Grams of almonds.
Phil, can you speak up a bit, please?
Oh, sure. And some rosemary.
Is your volume down, Pearl? You're sounding a little bit soft.
Okay, I'll speak louder. Is it better?
Slightly.
Okay, I don't know how to increase the volume here.
We need to give her a drink.
Is it better now? I think it should be.
You still need to speak up loud, okay?
Rosemary I have put in. Now, next, insert the measuring cup. So I've got almonds and rosemary in my bowl. And for 10 seconds on speed 8. Sugar. I have reduced the quantity of sugar. It's saying 180 grams. I'm just going to reduce it a little bit. Some butter. A pinch of salt. So I just heard on one of the cooking classes that salt, if you add to sweet, it brings out the flavor. So that's the reason why they add salt Insert measuring cup for 20 seconds on speed 6. I'll just show you what it looks like. This is what my almonds and all the stuff looks like. Next, insert measuring cup. Oh, the rosemary smells nice. Insert measuring cup into the bowl. Next, for 10 seconds.
Pearl, you've got even quieter.
Is it?
Maybe you're gonna face
Yeah.
your camera or your PC when you're speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe because I'm backing the.
This is better. What you just said and how you wherever you're facing is just better.
Okay, so then I'll face it and I'll talk. Next, transfer half the batter into the prepared tin. This is my prepared tin. I've got it ready. So I'm going to place everything in it. Just half of the mixture.
Pearl, whilst you're doing that, we might go back to Irene because I'm mindful that her bread's got to bake.
Yeah, okay, sure.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, guys. So you can see all of I've snipped all of these on the edges. And I've placed my halloumi cheese through the middle. Now in mine, I've got halloumi cheese. I buy block cheese and I pretty much grate it and stick it in the freezer. And it will come back to room temperature pretty quickly. So I've got some Parmesan in here. I've got a bit of cheddar in here just to mix up the flavors. As I said before, Mum doesn't like rosemary and we're trying to avoid onion for her tummy. So I've just sprinkled some dried herbs in here. So whatever you like. Now this is a cheese-based one. You could do anything. You could do mushrooms. You could do whatever flavor you like. So literally, I'm just going to take that end up just to help me close. And then we start a crisscross fold. So one over and over. And I'm not tightening this too much. But you get the idea. Looking good, girls. Huge improvement on that last attempt, eh?
That's fabulous. I was going to ask you a question too. Do you think you can put a sweet filling in there too?
Anything. I can't see why you couldn't do like a ricotta with sugar, like something sweet would be divine. So yeah, for sure.
I actually added cranberry the last time.
Yeah, so the cranberry there in the recipe it's really funny. 1 minute when you do that Google Translate, it says cranberry. The next minute it says it's blueberry. It's basically a jam to tip it in. So if you think about when you have cheese as a condiment, you know, and you do like a cheese plate, you tend to put things like, you know, you might have like a quince paste, something sweet to offset it. Oh, there goes my camera's out of focus. Never mind. So that's what
It's
it looks
amazing.
like, guys. Okay, now in terms of getting it into heart shape, go back to, I'm not sure why my camera's gone out of focus. Go back to Pearl. And
Okay.
go, just basically just turning it.
Okay, Pearl, up to you.
Okay. I was trying to increase my volume. Now I have spread the whole thing in one part of it and kept it aside. Now with the next process, 2 eggs. So I've only put part of the batter, half of the batter, and the balance batter, I'm putting some 2 eggs in it. Next, 250 grams of natural yogurt. So I just made my yogurt yesterday. This is my yogurt in the white thermos servers, which are available on Mix Shop. Ooh, it's all gone.
No, they're not. They're only available for as host rewards.
And host rewards. There you go. And this is the yogurt. See how good it looks.
Well done, Pearl. It's so easy to make too, isn't it?
Yes, I know. I need 250 grams of yogurt. And 54 grams. Half of the reserved nutmeg. Pistachio. Insert measuring cup. Next, for 20 seconds on speed 4.
Irene is making it into a lovely heart shape.
Trying.
It's incredible.
Pour the mixture on top of the layered chocolate and smooth the surface. And then I'll bake. So you can, that's it.
Lovely. Thank you, Pearl. So we'll go back to Irene and her amazing creation.
Guys, this dough is really pliable. Don't worry about the bits of cheese that come out. Don't stress too much about it. It's still going to look good. I think we've got our heart. Let's turn
Beautiful.
it this way so it's not upside down.
So there's been a few comments in the chat about that you know you had a big challenge ahead of you, and someone said if it was them they would have, or Vicky said if she would have given up, and I said yeah I would too, but that's why we have Irene.
All good, guys. So
Doesn't give
now
up.
I would generally leave this to proof at least another half an hour. I don't think it's going to need, it's not going to need as long. Like the second time the dough rises a lot quicker once you've got through the first time. So I've got the fortunate position. I've got a steam oven that has a proofing mode. So it's going to take much less time. So I'm going to get it in now to proof, and then we'll see if we get it baked in time. But if we don't, now it needs to rise the second time. Just give it the time it needs. And then we're going to brush it with a little bit of egg wash. I just use egg yolk and just a splash of milk in mine to brush it, and we'll come back and see how it looks.
Absolutely incredible, Irene. Really amazing. Thank you so much. All right. So my chicken, we've got 4 minutes to go on that, or 5 minutes to go on that. So it did start creating steam about 7 minutes into that cook. Remember, I put it on for a little bit longer. Yeah, everybody's going wow about your bread, Irene.
Awesome.
No one can, we can't top that. Well done for persisting. All right, so I'm going to make turn my other mix on, and I'm just going to make a little dip. Yeah, sorry, I'm so engrossed with with Irene and what she was doing there and watching her create, and I don't know, she's just amazing. Very lucky to have her on the team, very grateful. Everybody in the team's got their strengths, and Boone's also fantastic at bread and dumplings, dumpling queen. But that's why we all learn. One of the other team members posted a photo of her dumplings that she'd learnt from Boone. So that's one of the big positives of being part of a team, is everyone's got their strengths and we all learn from one another. All right, so coming back to my screen here, I don't want to resume my last recipe. Back into my week. And it's basil, avocado, and hemp pesto. Start cooking. 40 grams of basil. I was saying to the girls before we started, I did a couple of lives with pestos yesterday and I used all my basil. So my very lovely husband on Valentine's Day went and got me some more basil. So there we go. Now, if you have a TM5, it's actually a really good idea to put chunks of herbs in at a time, because with the 6, we got the 1 gram increments. But with your 5, you need to have, quite a few herbs going in at the same time for it actually to register. Oh, hang on, went too far. Now I've got 30 grams of pine nuts. Did I have something before that? Yeah, pine nuts. I've got pecans because Andrew doesn't like walnuts, and I've got the hemp seeds. I'll show you my hemp seeds in a minute, but they're all in there, and I've only got 1 garlic clove because it's quite a big one. That's all going in, and I'll quickly show you my hemp. I haven't got many left now, but whoops. Those are hemp seeds. 1 avocado, which I'm just going to cut now because I don't want it obviously to go brown. And I learned a really good tip from a friend who is an amazing Thermomix lady, Fiona Hoskin. She does a lot of gluten-free and dairy-free recipes. And I went to a class that, well, she helped her with a class that she ran a few years ago. And she has an amazing guacamole that she makes. And everybody wanted to take it to events and things. Thrown out. Yeah. And she said, so sometimes she needs to make it in advance. So what she does is she makes her guacamole and she puts it in a container, obviously for display. And then she puts a basil pesto over the top, and that stops the avocado from going brown. I thought that was a really clever idea. The other thing, of course, you could put a little bit of Glad wrap or something right down onto the surface of it. Sorry, wash my hands. Okay. Some salt. Oops, that's the pepper. Salt. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I've just got some lemon juice in here. Just going to pop that in there. $30 grams of olive oil, the Cobram olive oil. Okay. Pop my lid on. Five seconds, speed 10. I've got dueling Thermomixes. This one's just stopped as well. Now, you do know if you just touch the screen of your Thermomix, the noise will actually stop. Straight down the sides. What it looks like. So we've still got a few chunks in there, but I'll just scrape the sides down. And get the stuff off the lid. Put that back in there. Next, lid on again. 5 seconds, speed 10. Serve as desired or transfer into sealable container, place in the fridge until ready to serve. It says see tips, so we'll just have a look at those tips. So just a reminder, you hit these 3 dots on here, you go recipe detail, you come down and you've always got the tips at the bottom. It says, add basil into mixing bowl in large handfuls as the scales might not register the weight of individual leaves. Small and crunchy hemp seeds are derived from the hemp plant. They contain all the amino acids or proteins essential for the body and are high in omega-3 and omega-6. These seeds can be great for reducing joint pain, improving gut health, and reducing sugar cravings. Sounds like they're good for everything. You can find them at some major supermarkets. I've definitely got mine from the supermarket and online. You can store this pesto in the fridge for up to 3 days or in the freezer for up to 3 months. It also gives us our calories down here and protein, carbs, fats, etc. So it is a low carb, high fat dip. And so you can just continue, but we're pretty much at the end anyway. So I'm going to pop that into my serving dish in just a sec. But first of all, we've got to do something else with the other one. So I'm going to go next. It says set the varoma aside, remembering always when you take the lid off your varoma, you always tip it away from you because then all the steam goes away from you. Pop your lid down and then lift your varoma down here. Now, one of the tips in this recipe is to check to see if your chicken is cooked. You need to poke it. And if the juices that come out are clear, which they are, a bit hard for you to see there, but yes, they're clear, then it means that my chicken is cooked. All right, so I'm going to set that aside over here. And now, insert the measuring cup. All right, so I've got a bit more liquid than it would have, but that doesn't matter because, because I didn't steam the potatoes in this as well. And I am going to blend the sauce. So remembering again that whenever you're blending something hot, you start off, you go to speed 4 or 5, and then you slowly increase to speed 7. We've only got 30 seconds, so you use your ears to get that going. You probably won't be able to hear it, but I will wait until it sounds consistent, and then I'll turn it up. Okay, so then basically unwrap the chicken and cut each roll into scrolls. So just cut it in half, which I'll do in just a second. Place the passata sauce onto the plate, top with the chicken and serve with potatoes. Something else really important there I was going to share with you. Gone out of my head at the moment. Let's go back and see if that, no, can't remember. It'll come to me. All right. So I'm going to just get a board that I can put my chicken on. My cooked meat board. Okay, I'm going to unroll this. Now, if you do unroll it, I mean, I said it did run clear, so it should be fine. But if you do unroll it and it's not fully cooked, obviously you just put it back in and you steam it for a bit longer. So I have got a little bit of a seam down that end, if you like, but that looks pretty damn good to me. So I'm going to cut that with a nice sharp knife. Oh, look at that. Oh. Use tongs, of course, but anyway, I'll just plate one up for you, have a look at. And I'll show you the other thing I made with the the crackers that I made to go with the dip. Messed up one of those. All right. Back to Avocado, my computer. Move a few things. Remind me to find the entwined heart loaf to show you as well before we finish. Right. Got my plates. Put a little bit of sauce on there. Now, the other thing that she suggests too is, okay, we've got this, my sweet potatoes to go with this. But she also suggests that what you can do is steam some veggies in the varoma as well. Just going to put the 3 on because they're the pretty looking ones, all right?
Looks amazing.
I've got my little sweet potatoes here, which are, I mean, I know it's a lot of orange in it, but it wouldn't be orange if I hadn't chosen sweet potatoes. Didn't think about that, but that's just going, you know, personal preference. And we will have some sauce left over, I'm sure, because there's plenty of sauce there. And I'm obviously going to make 2 more of these for dinner tonight. And I would have some, I will also add some broccolini or something there as well to put on there.
Place the basil leaf on top now, Mandy. You
Oh,
were-
that's a very good idea. Thank you, Boone. That would be very nice. See, display is not my forte. I'm trying to get better at it.
It looks great, Mandy. You're being harsh.
Looks very pretty.
But you could definitely use other veggies like some green, yeah, some, just something to contrast the colours. Yeah, amazing.
Yep.
All right. So that's not the best leaf, is I should have the little leaves on there. There we go. So that's the inside out chicken parmigiana. It's really easy and it's really delicious. Thank you, Vicky. I like that comment. I'll take that one. All right. So that's our main course. Just going to go back to, actually, I need to make sure I don't disturb that one.
We go back to Pearl.
No. I'm going to show my dip.
Oh, okay.
So I've got the dip in here, and I've got options here. Obviously, some fresh veggies, but these are the falafel crackers. They are super easy to make. They are vegan, as is the dip. So if you need to think about that in the way of dietary considerations, then yeah, there's no egg in these. But what I want to show you with this too is, with a lot of the gluten-free and vegan things, the gluten-free things, you need to roll out between 2 pieces of paper, okay, whenever you're making the mixture. So I did that with these, and I'm just going to see if I can balance this up here. And I'm going to show you what, oh, that's probably not a good idea. Not a good idea. I'll just put it aside for a minute. And what I did was rolled it all out, then I used the cracker roller, and I kept some crackers still as they were on the tray, just so you can see. So with your cracker roller, all you do, you roll it out exactly as Irene rolled out her dough, and then you just go like this, and you end up with these beautiful, really professional shaped crackers. This cracker roller is available in the mix shop. I've used it and used it and used it. If it is something that you'd like, obviously, please make sure that you put your consultant's name next to your mix shop orders, because we do get some commission out of that, and that would be great. All right, now we're not going back to Pearl because I'd like to thank Pearl for making the cake, but I have the finished product because it takes about 40 minutes, 45 minutes to cook.
Yes.
Now, what I've done here, I'm very lucky. I've been thoroughly spoiled. I'll tell you why in a minute. I have a very lovely friend over the road, and she knew that I was going to make the love cake to show the finished product. And she said, "Are you free? I've made the Turkish Delight for you," because she knew I wouldn't make it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of icing sugar over the top. So it's just a little bit of icing sugar. It's a mixture of icing sugar and corn flour. So that's Kelly. Kelly was on before I saw it as well. So so there you go. It's the chocolate love cake. I've got a little bit of nutmeg on there. I've got a few pistachios, and here's some of the Turkish Delight, which does taste amazing. So Kelly's getting cake later, and some of her Turkish Delight back again to share. But not a bad Valentine's dessert, is it? And Pearl, I know you haven't made it before. It's delicious. They will love it.
Mandy, there's a question whether will the crackers stay crisp?
Let me get the recipe up. Let's have a look on, I'll share my screen and we'll have a look on cookie dough, what it says. All right. Actually, did I put them in here? No, I'll just look for them. Falafel crackers. They do. I've kept them for a while, but I'm just going to see if it says in the tips how long it says they stay for. Sealable container at room temperature up to 1 week or in the freezer for 4 months. Now, the other recipe I really wanted to show you is the entwined heart, because that was the other recipe we were looking at, but then Irene said, no, I want to do, it's too easy for her. So she wanted to do something that was a little bit more challenging, but that looks just amazing, doesn't it?
It does.
As well. I mean, it's not as complex as what Irene's done, but it's a lovely Valentine's loaf. All right, Irene, you're still proving over there, are you?
No, her proving should be done by now. Her machine.
No, it's baking, guys. It's just
Yes.
just waiting for a bit more color before I show it. If you want to go through cookie dough a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go through cookie dough, and hopefully we'll get there. All right. So, does anyone not have cookie dough? Do you all know how to use the filters? What I'm going to do quickly, I'm just going to do a quick rundown through. These are the latest things that have been cooking. Here we go, Chinese dumplings, surprise, surprise, with Chinese New Year. And oh, these have changed since yesterday. Hokey pokey ice cream, that looks really beautiful. That'd be a nice Valentine's dinner as well. And fill it with pink peppercorn sauce. Yesterday there was a chicken recipe on there, the honey barbecue chicken, which I actually made for dinner last night. All right, so you can search, just start searching in here. But what I generally do, and I know everybody does it differently, I just go see more, then I go straight through to all my filters here. So in Australia, we have 2,721 recipes, and then you can add in other languages, or if you speak Italian, you can just select Italian or whatever you want to do. There are two ways of doing this. I'm going to do it the way that I originally did it first, just because I want to show you a couple of things, and then we'll go back and show the other way. So these are all our countries that have English recipes. And the reason I've done that is to go into collections now, and you can see the latest collection. So this is incredible. And I thought about this for one of these desserts for today. However, they usually have their 10 to 12 recipe, portions per recipe. And especially in lockdown, it's a bit hard to share that around. Feed the Love. So that one's in the US, that one's in the UK. We've also, I think that's the US as well. That's a new one here. That one's a UK one, I'm pretty sure. But it just gives you lots of different ideas and things to select from. All right. And you can see that was the collections. We have 507 recipes. Okay. The other way you can do this, if you're not, I might as well just get rid of that too, is just go, so we actually, sorry, let me get out of there. You can see we've got 67,000 recipes. That's recipes from all languages all around the world. But it doesn't help me an awful lot because I need to read it in English to make it easy. So English, we've got 8,377 recipes. So, so that gives you everything in English. I saw someone had rice pudding the other night, and the rice pudding we made last week was really delicious, wasn't it, girls? We had for our lunch after our class, the mango and coconut rice. Okay. let me just, oh yeah, so the other filters you can put in here, you can now, if you're looking for a main dish or a soup or side dish, baking, desserts and sweets, everybody likes puddings. You can go in here and here we have, these are some of those from that collection. They're double ups because that collection's in a couple of different places, but they look just incredible, don't they? There we are, Irene. Some of these are a challenge for you too, please. Well, they're probably not a challenge for you, they'll be a serious challenge for me, but they look absolutely beautiful. So that's how you can have a look through your desserts and things. You can also add filters in there too, where if you want to have a gluten-free recipe, you can put a tag in here. Let's have a look, because you have to get the tag from there, gluten-free. Okay, we've got 294 results. So these are all gluten-free recipes. If you want them to be dairy-free, obviously you can do the same thing. So you would just add in here, dairy-free, 89 recipes. Okay, so I love that. And the other thing I love there too in the filters is that you can, if you've got stuff you need to use up in your fridge, you can just pop it in here. Zucchini is my favorite example, which we won't find in a dessert probably. And we might actually, there's just zucchini loaf. Then you can put your ingredient in there and you can use it up. So I know Irene was saying she had a lot of cherries she needed to use up, and she put her thing in there, put cherries in there and found some recipes. You can also search by preparation time. I think total time is more useful. I'm going to put 30 minutes in it. That will cut out a lot, because if it's baking, then obviously that's not going to be done in your 30 minutes. But you still got some nice, quick and easy desserts to do, and drinks by the look of it. That raspberry whip's really good. Yeah. So that's pretty much how you do that. Then you might want to say, right, I want to make that Sabayon. I'm going to add it to my week. I'm going to make it next Saturday. Save it in there. Or you go, actually, I want to remember that. I'm going to add it to a collection. When you first get Cookie Dough, you have no collection, so you create your own. I've got one that's just called Sweet Things down the bottom here. I would put it in there. Then I can come in here, I've got my recipes, I've got my created collections, and in my sweet things, it will be down there. I've gone too fast. Sweet things. There you are, it's the latest recipe that went in. I can go into my week. There's our recipes for today, some things I'm doing over the next few days as well. And there's our Sabayon. So I might go, actually, I need to shop for that. Let me just make sure my shopping list is clear first, which I will do. Clear my shopping list. Oops. Clear all. Go down, shop for my Sabayon. Add to shopping list. Scroll back up. Look at my ingredients. And then I go, okay, I've got sugar. I need to buy the wine. I probably don't need to buy the white wine. And I've got plenty of eggs, so I don't need those. But then, so all I need to buy actually is that masala to make my Sabayon. But then what I might want to do is go back into Explore and have a look at, you know, meringues or some way I can use up the egg white. All right, so that's pretty much it. Anybody, any questions about the, oh, okay, what shoulders, what folders? Okay, so my folders, I'll go back into my Cookie Dough. This is just absolutely what I wanted to do. So I've got 15-minute dishes, 30-minute dishes. That was something I did with a customer. Some basics, some bread recipes, all the things to do you can make with butters. There's so many different butters that you can make. Christmas entertaining, Christmas gifts, cocktails. That one's for Pearl. I should say Pearl's cocktails. Curries. Then I've gone in and I've looked at recipes by calories, just because we do the Fast 800 every now and then. Should be doing it now, but we're not. And so I like to know how many calories there are in a recipe. So I've got my curries like that. I've got curry basics. So that's going to give me my curry powders, dairy-free dips, dishes to make from a prepper head dish. So there's an amazing dish on, I'm not sure if I've actually got the original recipe in here. We'll have a look and see. No, I'll find it and show you, because I was just blown away by it. Finger food. gluten-free breads and pizza bases. Oh, that's when I went away for a weekend and I had no Wi-Fi, so I just needed to be able to find that. LCHF lunchbox. Again, my main meals, my daughter's list, some salads, my soups according to calories, sweet things, vegan, vegetarian, mains, etc., my different yogurts and zero waste recipes. I'm just going to find that recipe. What's it called? Cook ahead. Is that what it was? No, what is it? I have to go back and look in here for that. I thought it, well, cook ahead chicken, and can't believe I actually haven't got it in there because I was, oh, I know, I might have it in a bookmark. Kept it in there. Oh, I didn't. There is an amazing recipe up here anyway, which prep ahead. I know, Robin, I know, but I don't know why wasn't it coming up? Maybe I put the wrong things in there. Thank you, Robin, though. Prep ahead, this one. So impressed with this recipe. I think Robin joined me. I did a Zoom on this one. So you can actually cook eggs, salmon, and chicken all at the same time. And what that means is you've got, and then you can shred your chicken. 4 seconds speed, 4 reverse for your chicken. The shred, your cooked chicken. And there are just a whole lot of things you could do. So you've got eggs, hard-boiled eggs ready for another day. You can have your chicken in sandwiches. You could put it in a salad, like a Vietnamese salad. And again, you could use this in sandwiches. There's a really nice, I think it's a detox salad, or there's definitely a quinoa and salmon salad. So there's all sorts of things you can use it for. But I like that because it did everything at once. Right, I'm going to stop sharing. And I'll just want to know how Irene's going, if we are ready to have a look at her bread. Oh my goodness, look at that.
So it still needs time to color, guys. So I'm just going to pop it back in the oven, but she's doing all right. And we'll show the final photo on Mandy's page. So if you're not on her page,
well, I'll spread it around because I know some of the people in here are on the Bayside Thermomix community as well. So I'll put some pictures up there too.
I'm just popping it back in the oven.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
That color is quite all right, Irene. It doesn't need to.
No, it's it needs a bit more.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll just swatch. Just a little bit longer. And before I've learnt this tip from Boone when she did her gorgeous pandan buns. I'm actually going to brush it with a little bit of maple syrup at the end. I think that sweetness will go really nicely with the cheese, and it's actually going to taste really lovely. So, and look really nice and glossy. So we'll do that before we finish.
Great.
I'll just show you. I've got my hearts ready.
Oh, let's have a look.
The cake is not baked, but I got the Turkish Delight. I'll just have to put some icing sugar on top of it as soon as the cake is ready. But
Beautiful. Thanks, Pearl. Thank you. Thanks so much for making that too. All right. So I just want to thank all the team for the efforts. And Boone's always hides there in the Northern Lights, but she does a lot behind the scenes. So that's fantastic. And thanks to the other girls for presenting. We love doing this. Thanks for the other members of the team who are on, and for you guys for coming along. We've got, I've tried to put a list up, and I know Jenny has in the Bayside Thermomix community. We actually posted exactly the same time this morning, so I took mine down, otherwise it was a double up. But would love to see at some of the other events. We're just making the most of lockdown, so please join us again. Thanks a lot.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.